everybody, and welcome back to Val's Kitchen on this beautiful sunny day. Now, we had masses of rain, which was lovely for my garden, for my vegetable patch, but we're so happy that we have sun now. So because it's sunny, I thought we were going to make a nice summer recipe today. We're going to make rhubarb crumble and homemade vanilla ice cream. Now, it sounds very complicated, but actually it's not, and it really helps if you have an ice cream maker machine. I have one. I'll show you this one. I've had this for many, many years. It's one of the ones that you have to put the inside container into the freezer overnight, and that means you can make like one sort of ice cream a day at a time. But I was getting into this, you know, last year I had this kind of thing about making loads of ice cream. So I bought myself I pulled out the big guns and invested in this machine, which cools the ice cream as it's churning it, which means you don't have to put the container in the freezer. It's a bit more expensive, but this one, you can get them for about 25, 30 euros. And, you know, I mean, for a household, it's fine, but it's much better to make it. You can put the ice cream into the freezer, but you have to stir it every few minutes just to make sure that no ice crystals form. Now, I'm making this, I'll tell you the ingredients. This is 470 milliliters of cream. It's about 270, just check now, about 240 of whole milk. This is 2 good tablespoons of arrowroot powder. That makes it creamy. It just thickens it like a bit like a custard, and you cook this together. This is 150 grams of sugar. And then I'm going to put about a tablespoon of vanilla essence into it. Now, this sugar, I had put it with some vanilla pods, so it's my homemade vanilla sugar. It'll give it that little bit more, but that's okay if you just use vanilla essence and normal sugar. So we're just going to cook this, boil it up. And I mean, the thing about homemade ice cream is I was checking on the ice cream you buy in the supermarket, and there's so many things in it, like masses of E-numbers, emulsifiers, all kinds of things to keep it stable. And I thought I can probably do better than that. So mine is just the purest ingredients, nothing else in there, no stabilizers, no colors, no artificial flavorings. And it sounds like a lot of work, but if you have an ice cream machine, I mean, say you go with your family for a day in the ice cream parlor, everybody's going to buy, you know, 1 scoop of ice cream is going to cost you about €1.50. If you buy an ice cream machine, you know, for 30, 35 euros, you've got that money, you know, you've got that money in very quickly. So I think it's worth it. If your family likes to eat a lot of ice cream in the summer, then you know exactly what's in there. Last year I got very ambitious and made about 7 different kinds of ice cream. I made coffee ice cream, chocolate ice cream, salted caramel ice cream, strawberry ice cream, coffee ice cream. Did I say that? Anyway, I made loads and had people come over. I can't eat it all myself, so I had big ice cream parties on my terrace, which was great. Now, the thing about arrowroot powder to use as a thickener, all of this is gluten-free. It's not dairy-free, but you can make it with non-dairy products. I have this adapted this recipe from a book called The Vegan Scoop. It has lots of, and they use, you know, non-dairy milk like soya milk or oat milk or whatever. You can use that instead of, you know, dairy milk. And it's just good because you know exactly the ingredients that you're putting in there. And I have to say it tastes a lot better than what you buy. And the arrowroot powder is a thickener. Now, arrowroot is, I can remember this as a child. I think, does anybody remember getting like arrowroot pudding or something? It sort of is settles the stomach if you have a, you know, bit of an upset tummy. It's good for that. It's a natural product. It's not, I think you can probably use cornstarch, but I like to use arrowroot powder. So we're just going to boil this up now. We just let it cook, and as soon as it starts to come to the boil, we mix this arrowroot powder with about 2 tablespoons of milk, and then we put this in into the hot mixture, and it starts to thicken up. It gets creamy right away. You'll see when I do that. Yeah, so this is the first cooking class with ice cream. I haven't done this before. So if you have any requests, just let me know. Just put them in the box down below, in the remarks box. When you give me your thumbs up and your wow, that was fantastic remarks. You can also have some requests if you'd like to have some special ice cream made. I made chocolate ice cream, and I use a bar of organic chocolate for this type. And I had some friends come over with their children, and I asked the kids, what do you think, on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give me for the chocolate ice cream? And the oldest one sort of sat there and thought for a while, and he said 12. So I thought, okay, that was a big success. And I made salted caramel, and their father liked that. The kids weren't too mad keen on that, but the father liked it very much. So that's a bit trickier. You have to watch, because when you're making your own caramel, it goes from lovely golden and caramelly to burnt and horrible that you have to throw away. So you have to watch that. But that's really it. And then you mix it with the ingredients, and you have this lovely caramelly ice cream. And now, in summer, you're getting strawberries and all kinds of fruit. So, all of these nice fruity ice creams you can do, or make them with yogurt, frozen yogurt, masses of varieties that you can make. So it's really worth, if you like ice cream and you have kids who love ice cream and you want to keep them on healthy ice cream, buy yourself a little ice cream machine. It really is worth it. Yeah, so we're just waiting for this to boil now. Okay, it's coming to the boil. Now this the milk mixture, so I'm going to take it away from the heat. And this is the arrowroot I've mixed with 2 tablespoons of milk, and that's going to go in there, and it'll thicken up then really nicely. It starts to get creamy right away. And then we put, if you can't get vanilla essence or some kind of vanilla taste, then you can just use vanilla sugar. I'm putting a tablespoon of vanilla in there. This is Madagascar vanilla I got from an English online. I ordered, there's a supplier here in Germany, and I can get all of my, when I go on holiday to Ireland, I usually come back with a whole case full of this stuff. So now we just have to let this cool, and when it's cooled, we'll show you the next step. So this is our container for the ice cream machine. So I just pour this in here. It's smelling really nice and vanilla. And then this will take, now because it's cold, it will take about 20 minutes until we have a nice ice cream. And when you take it out of the machine, it's like soft ice. It's not hard. And then you need to put it in, you can serve it like that if you like, but it's good if you put it into the freezer for about a half an hour. So it's going in, I'll show this. It goes in here. And then we turn it on and let it do its thing. And it starts here at 21 degrees, and then it'll just it'll start. I've got it on now for 30 minutes, and but you can hear it when it starts to get slow, it starts to start groaning, then you need to look. We'll just put that over, and we'll come back in a minute. So rhubarb crumble. Now this is the time in summer when you get rhubarb everywhere. I love rhubarb, and I can remember as a child we used to get rhubarb and custard, which is you would probably know as vanilla sauce, and we would have that as dessert. I've taken 500 grams of rhubarb and I've cut it into 1-inch pieces. And in some recipes I've seen they say to cook this beforehand, but I never do that because I find that if you just put it with, this is 100 grams of sugar, and you need the sugar because the rhubarb is very tart, so you need some sugar. I'm just going to put the oven on to 180 degrees. So mix it with sugar, and I like to put ginger in everything. Those who know me, I love ginger, and it just gives it a nice little tang. So it's about 1.5 tablespoons of freshly grated ginger. You can leave it off if you like. You don't have to have that. That's a big chunk. I think I'll cut that in two. Very ambitious I was with my cutting today. And I always mix about a tablespoon of corn flour into this because it sort of thickens the juices a bit. So we're just going to mix this and let it sit until the crumble is ready. Now this crumble, you can be as creative as you like. It's usually, I take 200 grams of flour, 100 grams of sugar and 100 grams of butter. You can put oat, like quick cooking oats in it to make it a little crunchier. I have some nuts that I was making something with hazelnuts and I ground them. So I'm going to put those in the crumble. So if you sort of have anything, that you need to use up, it's great. So we'll just leave this off to the side, just mix it, leave it off to the side. And let that sort of blend. I don't put any spices into this because I think it's sort of tangy enough. Okay, and I will make a crumble. Oh, don't waste not, want not. So it's 200 grams of flour. Now you can use plain flour, you can use any mixture you like. I like to mix whole wheat flour, and this is whole wheat meal spelt flour. 100 grams and 100 grams of white flour. And these are the nuts that I had left over. It's not quite 50 grams, it's about 30-40 grams. So we just put that in. And I have 100 grams of sugar, of this vanilla sugar. And 100 grams of butter. And you just have to work this through with your hands. It's nice and soft. This thing about a crumble, you just have to get your fists in there and work it through. And rhubarb is such a great, it's not a fruit actually. I was very surprised. It's actually a vegetable. And I said, well, why is it not a fruit? And it's because it doesn't have any seeds. So it's a vegetable, and it's a perennial. So if you have it in your garden, it's going to come back every year. The only thing about rhubarb is you can't eat the leaves because they're poisonous. So you just cut those off. Usually when you buy it, the leaves are gone anyway. It's a great, wonderful fruit, vegetable, anti everything. Lots of vitamin C, and yeah, so this is coming together nicely, our crumble. Antioxidant, that's what I wanted to say. Sometimes I can only remember, if I'm speaking in English, I usually can only remember the German name, or if I'm speaking in German, I can usually only remember the English name. That's the problem. Getting old ain't for sissies, especially if you're living in 2 languages. Well, 3 if you consider Bavarian. That's another language unto itself. When I came here, I lived on a farm and I didn't speak either German or Bavarian or anything. I was learning, and we used to have this old farmer used to come and visit us. It was like a commune, and he'd come and sit and just speak to me in the heaviest Bavarian, and I would just sort of nod and go, didn't understand a word. So I did learn it at some point. Irish. So we have a nice crumble here. That's the way it should look, sort of rough crumbs. And we'll just mix this up. You can see that it's starting to, the juices are starting to come out, the mixing with the sugar. Maybe take a better mixy thing. This is another, you can make this with apples, peaches, whatever fruit is in season. It's great. Just not soft fruits like bananas and not so good. You could put a couple of strawberries in. If you have strawberries left over, you can mix them, but not on its own. They're just too soft. They just get a mush. And it should take about 25 minutes. If they don't turn that soft, it's nice. Sometimes the pieces stay a little bit firm, but that's quite good. I like that. Just as long as it's blended with the sugar and with the... So, just spread that crumble mix over the top. And Bob's your uncle, as we say in English. Into the oven with you, my lovely. And we will be back when it's done. So our ice cream machine has started complaining. It started getting slower. So it's the ice cream is ready. I'm going to stop the machine now. Ding! And this is how it looks. And now to get it out, I have always 2 of these on some plate. It looks like soft ice now. So, as I said, you can eat it now if you like. I like to have it a little bit more solid. And if you have kids, they're going to fight over who is going to lick this paddle. It's easier when you make a cake because you can put like a line down the middle, you know, separate it, but because it's hard to get all of it off. It looks very, very nice. If you're going to make something like iced coffee, this is ideal. At this consistency is ideal. And this is our vanilla ice cream. So I'm going to put this in the freezer just for a little while. And then we'll have it with our crumble. And the crumble is smelling wonderful. The ice cream is looking fantastic. So we're going to have a party this afternoon. When you take this out of the freezer, if you've had it in the freezer for a while, it gets quite solid because there's nothing in this ice cream to keep it soft. If you buy commercial ice cream, it has something in it so that it doesn't get too hard, and this doesn't happen with homemade ice cream. So you have to take it out of the freezer about 20 minutes before you serve it. So this is our vanilla ice cream, and it's going into the freezer now. So we're back. Crumble is out of the oven, and before I serve that, I just wanted to say the lovely things you can make with the rhubarb. Now we have rhubarb and strawberries, so last week I made some rhubarb strawberry jam, and now in the next couple of days I'm going to make in the next batch, which will be rhubarb and ginger jam. So it's the best, also very simple to make and just lovely gift to give people when you're going for tea or something or visiting. So here we have our crumble. We'll just put a little bit into the bowl. The rhubarb is really nice and soft. It's still quite hot. Everything. I'll just get another spoon. Ah, lovely. It's still, some of the rhubarb is still kept its form, but it's very soft. So, and I can smell the ginger. And now this is vanilla ice that I've made before. So here you have a lovely, lovely dessert, and enjoy. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave a little message if you want to have some specific ice cream recipe shown. Just let me know what you think, and I'm looking forward to seeing you the next time. Enjoy!